HVAC with Stephen Rardon is sponsored by TrueTech Tools. Quality tools, essential support. TrueTechTools.com.
Good morning, YouTube. It is September 15th, Friday, and Rardon Home Performance is officially insured. That was the planned paperwork side of things that needed to be done today, and the rest of it will be some work with the van, continuing that process. I got a new accessory the other day that will make the use of the interior of the van more manageable. I guess I can just go ahead and tell you instead of trying to make it all hush hush. I got a jet rack. I don't have a 6-foot ladder to use yet, but I've got a jet rack. So I'm going to see if we can get that installed today. Later today we're going over to a vet clinic to look at air balancing. This location has been on video before, where I enlarged the supplies, going to the general service area for the vet clinic. We're going to be looking at adding a Honeywell RedLink thermostat and a remote sensor to be able to average the temperatures between the front and the back of the building, but that's not until later this afternoon. So that's what we've got going on right now. I picked up this refrigerant recovery nitrogen tank rack over at United Refrigeration. It is manufactured by the Metal Shop. Their website is themetalshop.com. This tank stand is called the Big Boy. It has room for MC, Oxy, the 30-pound recovery or refrigerant tank, and a large recovery tank. I think it's the 50, and then a 40 nitrogen. My plan is to put that rack over here on the divider between the cab and the back of my van, so that I can have easy access to the nitrogen tank for getting it in and out and secure it from banging around. I may still have to build out some more storage options for the second nitrogen tank that I carry, but we're going to see if we can get this thing in there and get it secured where it'll work. It will restrict some my access on this side of the truck, but I don't think it'll be a major deal. I'll still have full access on the back, and actually I might put it closer to the other shelf, maybe in the middle. We'll kind of get it mocked up and see what it looks like. If I put it right there, the recovery tank will stick out about that far. So I'm thinking that's probably not the greatest choice of locations. If I move it more towards the center, I've still got room for my milk crate to fit in there, which should be fairly secure. I've got some bolts that I planned to use to secure it, but it may be difficult to keep it from sliding to the front. So trying to minimize cost of these van fittings, I got a piece of galvanized piping. It's a 1/4 inch by 4, but I just realized that 1/4 by 4 is, I don't know, about a finger's width too short. So what we might have to do is use some of these spacers that I had got initially intended for putting an offset on some of the other refrigerant racks that I've mounted. So I got 4 of those, and then some of the galvanized pipe to act as a standoff. All that should line up pretty well, and if we don't drop everything in the driveway, that'll come pretty close, though it's still kind of short. A 5-inch standoff would actually work pretty good if we were to use the galvanized pipe. Since we've got these parts on hand, that may be what it takes. It looks like I've got 3. Yeah. Crap. It's difficult to make all this stuff work on a budget. I guess I've got a couple of the other ones that I could use. But part of the process that I need to work is drilling this frame so I can get a 1/4 inch piece through there. I'm going to go grab a Sharpie, black marker, whatever you want to call it, and see if we can line up that hole with one that's already there for the sake of mocking it up. The other thing I'm worried about is whether or not I've got enough. Yeah, I should be fine. I've got enough on the other side to get a nut on it. So I'm going to go grab that marker. Got the first one. Maybe a little tight, but I think we can work with it. And of course my hole is not properly lined up. Of course. And I don't know if I can push it hard enough to make it line up. So I guess what we'll do is try to make it line up. Evidently my hole's not big enough. Okay, I think that'll work. With that in mind, we'll prepare all of the holes in the rack, and we'll just make our holes up front fit. Beautiful. That'll work. Come across and drop another one right here. I don't think I'm making enough noise. My neighbors may not be able to hear me, and I'm sure they're loving it. Okay. So we'll get our first bolt in place. And I've got a couple more. I think the best I can do from here is just try to mark where the bolt lines up, and then try to drill that hole as accurately as possible. At least that way I've got a zone of drill application. See how that goes. Not quite open enough. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So we'll get our standoffs ready. Probably gonna end up dropping all those. Yep, there we go. Dropping them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need a extra set of hands to get this finished up here as I keep dropping pieces. Nice. Let me see if I can lose all my fittings. A little looser than I had hoped that it would be. I was kind of hoping it was a tighter fit, but it will give me some storage for holding on to this tank. Maybe I can add a chain strap or something to hold it back so that it doesn't move around as much. I still have the need to store another nitrogen tank, but that gives some differentiation to the two tanks. Sort of helps me remember which one I used last. We got it bolted in nice and tight. The 6-inch bolts were actually a little short, so we had to cave in a little bit of this square tubing, but that should keep it secure, keep it safe, and give us an opportunity to keep from banging things around nearly as much. Looking at this, I'm kind of hoping that maybe my torch kit might fit behind my milk crate. Trying to kill myself sliding around. So there, that'll work. Milk crate will go there. Keep the torches secure. I like it. I like it, I like it. I'm pretty happy with that. Guess we could do a test fit of a refrigerant tank. Yeah, I think I'm going to want to add a strap to keep these from trying to slide backwards, but a heavy tank fits and holds pretty well, where a light tank will probably be a little sketchy. But that's more for the opportunity that I would have the need for additional tanks than actually needing them right away. Also leaves my D-ring down here open for use, so that I can keep things tied down. Right now, that spot for drill storage seems to make sense. I'm using one of the VitoPack PB bags for drill chucks and wrenches and things. Hangs off of the D-ring on my MC pretty well. Sort of adds a little bit of extra floppiness to the bag, but generally speaking, it doesn't become a problem. I've been able to rope it up on a roof and do things, get it where I need it that way. I need to figure out where to put my other nitrogen tank. I had half of mine to get a rack that would keep my nitrogen tank horizontal up here, but it's nice to keep it here for fairly simple access. And if I wanted to leave my VN500 on there, wouldn't have to take it off every time I used it. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are coming along. One of the next projects is going to be some LED strips across the ceiling of the van to replace the little incandescent bulbs that are in there. It might have been a great idea to just put LEDs in there, but since I've got a jet rack to put up, I figured that it would be best to get rid of those. Hoping that a 6-foot ladder comes out short enough that I can put stuff there, but I guess we'll see. I think that's about it for right now. I need to hop on a conference call with a partner company that is coming on here. So I'm going to go talk to them, and we'll check in here after a bit. After a glowing review from Greg Fox, I decided that I would try out the HouseCall Pro customer management, scheduling, and pricing and fund collection operation. Had a couple of conversations with the people, the customer success personnel at HouseCall Pro, and we're going to give it a shot, see how it goes. My fear with the Square application is that it would be difficult to scale when there is a more significant volume of calls and customers trying to coordinate everything. So I'm headed to my first HouseCall Pro visit. I'm gonna go check out the thermostat at the veterinarian clinic and see how this goes. I have marked my status as on the way, which allows my customer to get a notification that I am en route. That seems to me to be a way to save phone call time. Of course, some customers, you're going to need to make phone calls and confirm, but a lot of times just getting an email or a text notification is sufficient for them to confirm the appointment and be comfortable that they know that you're on the way. So as it stands, I'm marked on the way, and we'll hit start when we get to the job site.
Watch the morning rise, through cold, cold rain.
We got the thermostat in, the remote sensor connected. One of the partners that owns this business said that Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and stuff like that always seems to have problems here. But we were maintaining connectivity to the RedLink sensor, and we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we don't have to come back and pull a wire. So I think we got that straightened out, taken care of. We'll see how it runs, and if we come back, we'll cover that as well. I believe I am probably finished for today. I think I might go home and change the housing on my Appion MegaFlow kit. I got that used kit for 20 bucks, and Appion sent me a new housing, so it shouldn't be too difficult to make that repair. So we'll head back to the house and see if we can fix that thing up, show you how that goes, and we'll see you in a bit. I got sidetracked and almost forgot to say anything else about HouseCall Pro. With HouseCall Pro, you are able to add a time clock feature, and so you can clock in, clock out within the time clock and keep track of your time. So that is a huge benefit for me, above and beyond what the Square option allowed without additional payment. Square charged an extra fee for that, which HouseCall Pro also charges fees for those types of features, but just closed out that ticket with HouseCall Pro, sent the invoice, and that turned out really pretty. So we'll continue to play with the HouseCall Pro application and try to show you how that works along the way. If you're interested in checking out HouseCall Pro, I'll leave a link in the description for a referral code that will allow you to get a bonus for using that link. And I'm going to play with my Appion MegaFlow manifold, see if I can get that fixed. So all you need to work on the Appion MegaFlow manifold are some Allen wrenches, and it appears that this one's almost not big enough, but this manifold, the housing is broken, and so the back doesn't stay on here, and this fitting right there is bent. So we're going to start by getting rid of that so it's not hanging out, making life difficult for us. I might have to hold this screw in place while I try to back that out. This Allen doesn't really seem to be quite large enough. Don't think I actually have to remove these knobs, but they did send me new knobs that I can put on there. But I'm going to grab another Allen and wrench to be able to take that apart. There we go. So we'll take the screws out. I don't know if I'm going to need to keep those permanently. So the face comes off, the gauges stay with their needles intact. It looks like we're going to have to calibrate this guy. But the new case is here. It has the nuts embedded, so all we need are the bolts from the front. We'll just peel that open. It looks like the face is able to come out. So we'll put the face back in, drop that on the body. Drop the screws in the holes, and we'll put the back on again. The top just clips in, and then we'll tighten these screws down gently so we don't crack it again. It's nice that the nuts in the back are actually embedded in the plastic so that you can tighten it down without too much extra trouble. And now we have a MegaFlow manifold in all its glory. That's what it takes to replace the housing on the Appion MegaFlow manifold. Once we've got everything there, we can park our hoses back again, and we're ready to roll. Pretty well straightened out. I don't expect to actually use this for reading pressure, so I'm not worried about trying to calibrate it right now, but we'll definitely want to try to calibrate it so that it will read accurately. But at least we got a nice recovery manifold, evacuation manifold if we need to really get some big guns started here. I'm going to clean up the rest of my mess that I've created by doing this manifold housing replacement, and we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And don't forget you can use coupon code RARDON at TrueTechTools.com to get 7% off your purchase. Also, if you're interested, hit the link in the description to check out HouseCall Pro. And we'll see you on the next video. Peace.